In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. A wimmawa, 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 a wimmawa. Near the village, the peaceful village, the lion sleeps tonight. Near the village, the quiet village, the lion sleeps tonight. A wimmawa, 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 a wimmawa.
There are many people who come to different megalithic and monumental sites. They can be independent researchers or the conventional scientists. They notice one of the things, for example, they see blocks, they say they are perfectly cut or they perfectly fit. It was done by advanced civilizations and that's it. They don't go deeper. So we need to go deeper. We need to look for the answers. The site where we are at right now, and this is the great Zimbabwe ruins in southeastern Zimbabwe, is the most impressive and most monumental site in the southern part of Africa. It can be equaled only by the Egyptian pyramids and obelisks in Aksum. Here, what other people do not notice are several phases of this site. And the first phase has nothing to do with these beautiful, nicely shaped granite little plates. The first phase was the phase of huge granite boulders. On several places we can notice the balancing rocks. There is no way that due to the tectonics or rocks, rolling down the hill, they could end up at the places like this one here, because there is nothing higher than that. Meaning the only way is that they've been placed there. This is not the product of the erosion. So they've been placed there. Several pieces like this one we can find here. So it seems to me that in a distant past, long before the time of Homo sapiens, different beings were really playing on such place. Why did they choose this place? Zimbabwe is a country of proportionally looking, relatively looking, most of the granite material per capita. Such statistic does not exist, but it can give us an idea what one small country, 16, 17 million people, can have. Now we are surrounded by mountain chains of granite. Why is granite so important? Not only is the construction material, which is exceptional quality, but because of its energy properties. Granite has a high quantity of quartz crystal. Quartz crystal has the ability to transform the energy. Today we know, when we want to have barbecue party, When we want to turn on the barbecue, we press it. What we are pressing? The button. What's behind the button? It's a piece of quartz crystal. And this mechanical effect causes the quartz crystal to produce electricity. So, from mechanical or, let's say, sound effect, we can get electricity. The same goes if you are coming with electromagnetic field hitting the granite, then it produces the ultrasound. We are doing the interview. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
I was measuring the magnetic field here. What you would expect on the places like this one in the nature, it's let's say 42 to 45 microtesla, 32 to 34, 28 to 29. And this is basically the magnetic field that you can find in the cities, in the nature, on different continents and on different hemispheres. As we are getting closer to this North Hill, this beautiful combination of natural granite boulders and the granite dry stone walls, is that the magnetic field started showing me huge anomalies. And the range was from 10 microtesla to 142. Now, this is a huge range, and you don't meet that anywhere else. For example, when you go to the hospital, to the clinics, and you are doing your, CT or Röntgen or any other stuff with those sophisticated equipment, the values of magnetic field can go very high, 250 or 300 or 350 microtesla. But when you have such a large range, obviously it means something. Those beings, the people, they knew that this place was special, producing special energy effects. When you place one boulder on another one, because of this mechanical pressure, obviously there is a movement of quartz crystal. There is a possibility that the transformation of energy comes. But what do you need to really start the whole process? Well, what you need is the water. Running water energizes the whole process. I don't know if we do have running water here, underground river. From here I cannot see the river. There is, of course, a river by us about 1.5 kilometers from here. There's probably something below us. The water running, the negative ions are produced, so the energy starts flowing. Especially if you have some cavities, underground tunnels, or even passageways that are artificially made, like we have them here. Again, there is an energy flow. Which energy? Energy that can be measured. It can be electrical field, it can be magnetic field, it can be what we call electromagnetism, it can be ultrasound, it can be infrasound, it can be Schumann resonance, it can be negative ionization. All these stuffs are measurable. And what kind of effects they can cause to us? It can be spiritual effect. It can help us to develop our spiritual abilities. It can help us to achieve very deep meditative states. It can help us to achieve astral projections. It can help us also with the healing aspect. Namely, if you are going back in a balance when it comes to our chakras, if you open up the chakras, you allow the energy to flow better, and then it does affect your body on the physical level, the blood circulation. The blood moves and circulates better. We are healthier as the final result, so we can have healing aspect. However, for me, one of also very important features of such places would be initiation. As we were climbing the top of this granite hill, we could see also several terraces on different levels. They were also combined by big granite boulders. Most of the people, when they are coming to the sites like this one, their only goal is to come to the destination. For them, destination is the top. Without realizing about the lower levels, they will never understand the destination. So the initiation process is of understanding all the levels, lower levels, mid or higher levels. There are no less or more important levels. They're all important, because if you do not figure out how to start with the several lower levels, you will never understand those higher. So I would say places like this, for the ancients, were multi-purpose devices from which they can affect their spiritual life, the healing aspects of their life, they could advance their senses, they can affect their health, they can do their astronomy, because whenever you have from one place observation of the stars, moon, different star systems and star constellations, we could call them observations. Whenever you had certain orientation and when you are coming to the site, respecting, let's say, orientation to the rising sun during the solstice or the equinox, then you are living with the nature and you would be understanding the nature and you would be understanding the position of your planet within the solar system and solar system within our galaxy. So places like this one here would be what I call the field schools, the schools of knowledge, the schools that would go from one aspect, physical, to another one, mental, to another one, spiritual, to another one, energy, and back. We all have those aspects. And that's the reason why conventional science cannot understand sites like this one. They come here, they are looking for the primitive tools, they are looking for the pieces of pottery, and they cannot understand the site. If astronomers show up, then they can help. You have places like Göbekli Tepe, for example. Dr. Klaus Schmidt, when discovering it back in 1995, he was claiming that it was a temple. Temple means worshipping. Worshipping in many cases means, sacrificing either the enemies or animals and so on. And then independent researchers agree with the temple definition, maybe adding potential astronomical feature, and that's it. Since they don't measure energy phenomena, which I mentioned earlier, they cannot understand the sites. Of course, we need to take into consideration spiritual science, but under one condition: the scientific methodology has to apply. Otherwise, you're going to have 100 different theories from 100 different spiritual scientists, or people who can channel, who can feel, who can communicate, who can do akasha, and so on. So we need a combination of the physical and spiritual science, but always respecting the scientific methodology. So, finally, to answer your question, how we can explain this site? 3 phases are very obvious. The first one is the phase when somebody was respecting and playing and learning from these huge granite boulders. This was the place of spiritual power. The second one is when somebody was shaping millions and millions of these granite rocks, and even though they are very small, they are 2, 5 or 15 kilos, so they are not impossible to carry or to install. What really catches our attention is their number. When you have such a clear granite plate, it means somebody had to break it from a larger boulder. They had to peel off the surface like we have here, which is weathered. How they would do that? Well, the high temperature is one of the ways. But real high temperature, not 50 or 100 degrees. We're talking hundreds, at least 600 or more degrees to do that. How they were producing that for such a huge quantity of rocks. So now we can see that several sites here in Zimbabwe, so Great Zimbabwe and Kami ruins, really ask us those questions. And when we see those sites, even though when you talk to the ordinary people, they will tell you, oh, this enclosure was actually fortress. These were not fortresses. They were not for the fortification purposes. We need to answer for what? Probably for some type of the flow of the energy. That's the best I can tell at this point. However, tomorrow we're going to be measuring the Great Zimbabwe, so we should know more answers. Bye!
Away.